Every time I come to a college, it feels so surreal for me because it just feels like I graduated from college, and for me to come back to a college to speak is such an honor for me. So I'm really, really thankful to the faculty, to the TEDx team here. Really means a lot to me. So when I was first, speaking to one of your team members here, they asked me to share my story, and in fact, I didn't know where to start from, so I thought I'd start from the very beginning. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Divya Boppana, and I'm a fashion content creator. Ever since I knew what passion or what I wanted to do in life, it's always been fashion. It's not something that started 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be in the space of fashion from a very young age, even before I knew what fashion was. And I come from a Telugu family, and for those of you who are from Telugu families, you know that engineering or medicine is the only thing your parents nurture you to study. Otherwise, there's no other career option that we get. So I always was in an assumption that I would become a doctor because most of my family members are in the medical field. So, and no one's from fashion, so I never thought of becoming, to even enter into the fashion space because no one that I know were even from the space. So growing up, I used to illustrate, I used to, because back then fashion design was on a hype and everything that we know was only fashion designing or fashion styling. Fashion blogging is something that came out later. So I was really interested in fashion designing. I would design clothes, I would DIY clothes, I would do all of that. But when I completed my 10th grade, it was that time when my parents wanted me to take BC because they wanted me to become doctor, but a part of them knew that I'm not a science student. They knew I was more artsy. I'm definitely artsy, so I can never be a science or a educational kind of a person. I'm an artsy soul. My parents were really understanding and they told me to do what I was interested in. And that's when I took MEC and I wanted to do something in the space of something artsy. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do, but I thought science was not my thing, and that's when I did my MEC. Then that was the time when I wanted to fashion blog. That was when I got an awareness about fashion blogging. I used to write WordPress even before Instagram. A lot of people here know me through Instagram, but I actually started writing WordPress. If you guys, I think you guys are too young to know about WordPress, but WordPress was when, back in the day before blogs or Instagram, newspaper articles and blogs were very famous. So I used to write blogs and share it with my friends and family to know more about fashion. I would just share my style tips or whatever I was interested in. I would just put in my thoughts. I always love to communicate with the people I like through a platform. So that's when I started writing fashion blogs, and my parents, they didn't even know what I was interested in, but they were very kind enough to get me on camera because I was really interested in photography, and that's when photography, fashion, both of them happened, and my fashion blogs became more and more not famous, I would say. A lot of people could relate to what I was doing. And then, this was in my 11th grade, and in my 12th grade, everything was going good. I was writing my fashion blogs. I was really happy in that space. I was studying, I was doing this. It was really hectic for me, but I was still going about it. And this was in my 12th grade. I still remember I lost my phone and camera. Someone stole it. So this is the most heartbreaking incident that has ever happened to me, because for me this was what I really wanted to do, and when I lost both of them, I was shit scared to face my parents because they were so supportive in getting me what I wanted, and when I lost both of them, I thought this is the end of it. I cannot follow my passion because I felt like I disrespected my parents by losing it. It was not even my fault. Someone just stole it from me, but I was so scared. I was so scared to face them. But they were really kind enough to not say anything, but a part of me said, I need to just shut my mouth, listen to what my parents are saying. And I got done with my 12th grade, and since I took MEC, there were very less career options. I couldn't go back to becoming a doctor like my parents want me to do. So I had to do BCom, and I had to join, I studied in St. Francis, so I had to join back at Francis. And even when I was doing my undergrad, I wasn't happy. Like for a minute, ever since I entered the college, a part of me is like, no, this is not what I wanted to do. So my college would end by 2 o'clock and I want to do something else. I just can't stay idle. Even now, if I get like 5 minutes of me not doing anything, I just go crazy. I have to do something. So that's when I started my interior designing. So I started, since I was so creatively furious always, after college, since fashion was out of place because I felt like I disrespected my parents, I wanted to do interior designing and explore more about it. And that was the time when, after my college would end by 2, and from 4 to 9, I was pursuing my diploma in interior designing. I did it for a year. It was a 1-year course. I got done with it. Again, I'm like, it's college ending. This is not giving me happiness. I need to do something beyond that fuels my soul. I just didn't want to just be alive and not do something that's not giving me the thrill of it. That's when I decided to go back to what I'm really passionate about, and I started fashion blogging on August 1st, 2017, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, August 1st, 2017, I finally decided to make my account public and start posting. And for a Telugu girl like me, that's a very big deal. And anyone who's Telugu in the audience know that doing something like this is a very bold step, especially when you come from not from a conservative family, but from a family that is not really aware about other career options, or to even post a picture online. It's just a lot for a lot of families. So for me, it was one big step. And this was also the time I turned 18, just a couple of days before that, and I decided to be independent. And that was also the time I applied for an internship at a luxury fashion house. And I was fortunate enough to get it right on the same day of when I posted, and when I finally told people that I'm going to make my account public, I'm going to start doing what I'm really passionate about. This was the same time I got my job. So I would go to college from 8 to 2. 2:30 sharp I had to be there at my work. 2:30 to 9 o'clock I had to work my ass off for 2 years. Until I got graduated, I was doing, so I did 3 different internships in the course of 2 years. But there was no way out because I really wanted to be independent and prove a name for myself with my family and friends, everyone, because no one really trusted me. Now that I get so much love from people, I really value that, because when I started, I barely had any support. I didn't have support from anyone. There'd be family, there'd be friends. Later on, after 2 or 3 years, people started recognizing my work, and that's when I started getting the love. But before, I had to be I was literally earning pennies. Since I was an intern, you don't earn a lot, right? I was earning very little, and fashion blogging fashion in general is a very expensive affair. So for me to afford my passion, I had to do 2-3 jobs. I had so many side hustles to get to where I am right now. I used to work my ass off. I would go to college because education is important. I had to get my degree. I had to do 2 or 3 jobs. I was consulting, I was freelancing. There was literally, I took no day off for more than 2 years actually. Even during pandemic, even when everything was shut, I was still working. I didn't take a break. I was still helping out people I know, the brands I knew, and I was working. There was literally no stop for me. I think that's when I started getting recognition for the work that I did, and I'm extremely grateful for that. And to know that a lot of people really take inspiration from me is a lot. Speaking of what I do right now, I think everyone thinks fashion blogging is very fancy, it's very cool, everything comes easy, but it's not. Especially with me, I had to go through a lot in terms of, like I just mentioned, I didn't have any support, any financial support. because I decided to be independent. It's on me, but still I didn't get any support from friends and family too. And fashion in general in Hyderabad is very selective. It's not for everyone. Even now, if you ask me, only a certain set of audience in Hyderabad gets access to the first-hand fashion. So for me to be in this space, I'm really grateful for it, and I really worked hard for where I am today. But this is something that I want all of you to understand. If you're really passionate about something, work hard, because nothing comes easy in this world. There's no shortcut. I'm sure you've heard this from a lot of people, but this is how the world works. If you really want to do something in life, you have to work your ass off. Otherwise, you don't get anything, or you won't even get recognized. You'll just be like a fish in a sea. If you want to make a mark for yourself, you have to run, because everyone's running and you have to run faster. Ria, thank you so much, guys, for having me here, and it really means a lot. And thank you so much for coming for my